Good day and welcome to this week's episode of Strictly Legal on WESN Content Capital. I am your host, Rondell Donawa, and once again I'm happy to bring the law and you. Of course, you are watching us on WESN and you can stream us on all social media platforms. Now, today we think outside the box. We are speaking about financial issues within Strictly Legal. Now, of course, you know, with the advent of the pandemic, a lot of persons would have lost jobs. Some would have gotten severance packages and some would not have. Of course, we have to deal also with your personal financial situation. And this is why today's episode will deal with the importance of personal financial planning. And I have my in-studio guest, Mr. Saad Anthony Baksh. And just a little bit about him, of course, before I introduce him. Now, September is Life Insurance Awareness Month around the globe. And of course, Life Happens Organization. And this is a great time to have this episode. Now, Saad Baksh is a graduate of Naprima College, San Fernando. He has attained his BSc Honours in Information Systems and Management from the University of London. Now, immediately out of university, he joined the financial services insurance profession with the Maritime Financial Group at the age of 22. Now, he is employed for the last 15 years and has won numerous awards. He also achieved the Industry Award, including the Top General Insurance Producer of Trinidad and Tobago in 2014 and 2015. Now, he is the current Assistant General Manager of South Branch of the Maritime Financial Group. He is also, he's also a 13-time life and qualifying member of the prestigious $1 Million Roundtable at a very young age. He's happily married with a beautiful wife and an adorable daughter. And he's a tenor. He is a tenor at the famous Southerners Choir. Of course, that is a choir I'm involved in as well. And he's a public relations officer of the alumni of the Naprima College Association of Past Students. It's a lot to take in, but I have to say it, my brother from very young, Saad Baksh. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Donawa, and thank you very much for having me. Good morning to your viewers, both locally and internationally. Well,
thank you so much for coming on. And of course, as I said in the introduction, financial law, many people will ask, well, why are you having a financial program on Strictly Legal? And of course, we encompass everything. And it's important that proper financial planning is done.
Correct. And financial planning really is essential. Most people tend to not think about financial planning, but they normally will go along and go with the punches, as they say. But really, financial planning is critical if you want to accomplish your goals. And part of it really is establishing or identifying your goals and your objectives and really putting a time frame to it. But in any financial plan, you must have different stages. And really, the first stage or the base of your financial plan is your wealth protection. And then you go on to wealth creation, and then you have wealth distribution.
So let's start with the wealth protection.
Good.
What is wealth protection?
So wealth protection really is to make sure that you take care of certain aspects, and one being what you earn. So protecting what you earn, protecting what you own, protecting what you owe, and also those that you love. And that is really your base for your financial plan.
And also the second grouping, financial wealth?
Yes. So that would be wealth creation.
Correct. Yes.
So then you look at investments, then you look at real estate and all of those things. And then you have something called estate planning, which now is the top, which is wealth distribution. And that is exactly what you do as an attorney, which will be preparing wills and so forth.
And of course, we would have had a program previously about estate planning, wills. And I know in the insurance sector as well, you have provisions for estate planning in the insurance sector?
Correct. So dealing with a professional financial advisor, one that is qualified, we are also trained in terms of estate planning and how to guide the client. But then he's referred to somebody like yourself to really get that document done.
Now, in terms of the need for risk mitigation, can you walk us through why that is important, particularly now? I mean, we have COVID-19. Many people are left with their quote-unquote pants down.
Correct. And risk mitigation is really trying to avoid the huge financial loss. And really, insurance is perhaps one of the only ways in which we can mitigate against financial risk. And by that I mean, you are now transferring the risk to an insurance company. And obviously there's a cost attached, but what we refer to in the business, it's cents on the dollar. So you pay a premium for being covered for a huge amount. And again, you can create an estate immediately. So for instance, for a very small premium, the family, in the event that you pass, and even if you pass away by COVID, your family is covered financially. Because at the end of the day, you want to maintain the standard of living, and it's all about income protection as well.
No. Why do you think people are afraid of insurance or afraid of insurance agents? Because the minute you hear, I am an insurance agent, they say, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. That is something that, we are often trying to change the perception of financial advisors. Now, as it relates to central bank guidelines, all financial advisors must be doing what you call continuous professional development. So all financial advisors attached to all of our companies must be professionally qualified and continuously educated. It might have been rumors, it might have been, misconceptions, but at the end of the day, insurance companies are here to pay legitimate claims.
Now tell us. Now, as I said, there's COVID. Many persons were not prepared. Is there a drive through your insurance company to ensure that persons gain that life insurance or health insurance in order to protect themselves, particularly now? Very good question.
COVID-19, in fact, would have revolutionized the insurance industry. We may have been advanced by 5 years in terms of technology. Also, from the public's perspective, they are now seeing that death is not only when you reach 90. Death could be at any point in time. It became a point where COVID-19 statistics started to become names. And that is when I think the public realized, oh, wait, this could happen to me. Mm-hmm. And insurance companies then took the lead into now having packages where no medicals might be required for a certain amount. You now have e-applications and things that could be done online. You could chat with a financial advisor via Zoom without going in person to meet. So a lot of things have been changed and revolutionized because of COVID-19.
And is it that insurance companies will pay your dependents if you die from COVID?
Yes. Once you are onboarded, meaning once your case has been issued or settled and you are in good health and all of those things at the point of application, you are covered and your family will get the amount that you insured for.
Now, how much insurance does someone really need?
Good. Again, that's a very good question. That is often the case where somebody visits or goes to an insurance company, has a meeting with a financial advisor, and that is where they are now being able to understand how much insurance do I really need, and it is a case-by-case basis.
Yes.
There are rules of thumb that financial managers use. Some use 10 times your annual income. Some also use 20 times your annual income. It all depends on your responsibilities and depending on your age, etc.
And if you don't have any income, you're working, let's say, I don't want to make it sound like this, but if you're working, you're RP, CPEP, these types of low-income jobs.
Right.
Or even as a janitor.
Good. And then again, it's tailored to every person in Trinidad and Tobago. Once you are employed, no matter your income, you could still be able to afford some level of coverage. And that is what we want to do, to educate the public and to make sure that everybody is covered. That is one of the only ways. So, a good point is, imagine it's difficult now to run your household on your income. What happens if the income is taken away? It might be, your family would be left almost destitute.
Yes. Let's take a pin. We'll be right back after this break. You're watching Strictly Legal.
Everyone has a dream, a vision of what we want. The things that make us happy and help us make others happy. Let First Citizens help you paint a brighter future. A new home. A new car. A new day of living stress-free. Make the things you picture a reality.
Visit us at firstcitizenstt.com or email loans@firstcitizenstt.com. First Citizens, we put you first.
Gift giving during a lockdown can still be hassle-free with a gift from FanZone with delivery options available nationwide. Visit and browse our Facebook and Instagram pages for all your official licensed merchandise and apparel and have it delivered to your door. Find us on Facebook and Instagram. FanZone, we've got you covered.
And we are back. We are speaking about the need for personal financial planning with Mr. Saad Anthony Baksh. Now, before the break, we were speaking about the need for insurance, particularly in light of COVID. Now, tell us, is group insurance also mandatory or recommended?
Good. Group insurance is usually provided by the employer for employees. And it is one line of defense in terms of proper financial planning. I would always advocate for group health or group medical plans, as the case may be, group life plans. But also it is imperative that those employees, those individuals, take the responsibility to plan on their own as well. Because you have the possibility of companies closing. You have the possibility of plans not being renewed. And then the employee is left, as they say, in the rain. So it's always proper planning to have a personal plan.
Yeah, no, with the companies closing, I mean, I am doing a current matter with respect to that, particularly when a client of mine died and group insurance would have changed from one person to the next and who's at fault because of duty of care, etc. Now, I want you to stress on that. In terms of when a group closes, what happens to that particular group insurance?
So, for instance, if a company should close, there are some insurance companies that could provide the benefits, meaning it's portable. So the individual now could start to pay for that coverage. But then there are some plans that are not portable. And then the employee is left without coverage. And the really dangerous thing about that is that imagine an employee who has become critically ill or needs medical care, and now he has no plan to take care of those expenses. And then now no insurance company would want to insure that person because they already have pre-existing conditions. So it really is a dangerous position to be in.
Now, pre-existing conditions, you see, sometimes you don't know you have a pre-existing condition until it's too late. For instance, COVID-19.
Right.
A lot of persons who would have died not knowing that they had comorbidities. So how can you mitigate? How can an insurance company mitigate for persons who have this pre-existing condition but didn't know?
Well, at the end of the day, it is an application process where you must go through a medical. And the medical and the underwriting of it as well is also important. And underwriters will pick up sometimes or most times if something is wrong with that individual. Or reinsurers may pick it up. And then we then send the client to do further medicals, etc. Or we may even postpone or decline the case. So that is where the underwriting is important.
But then I know, particularly with the group insurance that I'm a part of with the Law Association,
right.
No underwriting was needed. So basically, you were allowed to sign on to a plan without having medical assessment.
Right.
Is that something that companies do across the board?
Because of your age, perhaps that is why you were not required to do a medical.
I think they said up to 45 or up to 60, but still, it's still quite...
Right. And then too, you will have questions to answer. So once you are honest and truthful in those questions, and the answers to those questions, you will be covered.
And let's speak about the self-employed individuals, particularly as attorneys. A lot of attorneys are self-employed, they have their own chambers. Of course, we don't have pension plans because we are not working with companies.
Correct.
Tell us, what are some of the investment opportunities with respect to us and pension?
Good. And retirement.
Yeah.
Really. And retirement becomes a hazard if we don't plan for it. There's a quote, and the quote says, the old age is when you are too tired to work and too poor to quit.
I always say I want to retire at 45, 40, but that's almost there, I say 45.
Right? So then it becomes even more important for individuals to plan for their retirement. Now, as self-employed professionals, we may not really retire and stay at home, but we may want to take it a little easier in our later years. But then we need to have a stream of income that will be there for us, and retirement planning. And part of the financial plan or the budget is really we use 10% of your income you should put towards the older you. Yes. And into a registered pension plan, because then in that way as well, the government is giving you a 25% tax break up to 50,000 what you put into a registered pension plan.
And this is annuity.
Yes.
Right. So could you explain the steps in terms of what's the difference between the annuity, by registered or unregistered pension plan? I know there's a lot.
Right. Registered means that it's registered with the Board of Inland Revenue, and you will get the tax break. Unregistered is not registered with BIR, but it can also do the same job as a retirement vehicle, but you don't get the tax break. Yeah?
Understood. And so let's say, for instance, you reach the age of 60. How can you now take out of that pension? Access it rather.
Good.
Yeah.
Once it's a registered pension plan, you will get 25% in a tax-free lump sum, and then you are guaranteed a pension. Some companies have it for 10-year guarantee period, 15-year guarantee period, and even if you extend more than the guarantee period, meaning you live past that 10 or 15 years, you are paid until you die in terms of a pension every month.
And let's go to the business insurance aspect. Tell us more about the need for having business insurance.
Good. Business insurance is also another area in which financial advisors are trained. And by that I mean you have self-employed professionals, you have partnerships, you have corporations, but then you also have key people in those organizations that will need to be protected. Because in the event, let's say one of the directors pass on, and that director was the key person bringing in revenue into the company, and he passes away, what happens to that revenue stream? It is cut. And that is where insurance could also be used as a vehicle to cover that person and cover the company, so that the company now will be the beneficiary, getting the amount of, or the sum assured from the insurance company, to now have a lag time. And usually they use 12 months. The lag time there now is to now train and replace somebody else to take over that job.
While you obtain your income, basically.
Whilst the company. Doesn't suffer in terms of the revenue.
Now, there's a term called, and you can correct me, in terms of liability, particularly with attorneys who may have been negligent for some point, not through no fault of their own, and therefore has to now pay a certain amount of monies to the aggrieved person. Right. Are there insurance to protect the attorneys or the office from such liability?
Yes. Yeah. And there's that, and the word, or the term for that rather, is professional indemnity.
Yes.
And they doctors, attorneys, engineers, all of the professionals would need to get professional indemnity, especially now when we become a society where everybody will want to, sue.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. Tell us more about that professional indemnity plan.
Right. So that will really take care of, if, as you say, if an aggrieved person, and if the practitioner then perhaps does malpractice and goes to court and now they have to pay, then the insurance company or the third party, which is the company, will now come into play to pay that benefit out.
And what are what are the examples of those sum assured in terms of how much you can be insured?
It varies. So it's very dynamic. Now, you may have instances where, for instance, doctors may have done a surgery and the person passes away, and it might have been negligence, not deliberately, but it might have been negligence, and then, the doctor is sued. And then the insurance company now will have to come in to pay the aggrieved person.
And let's say that, for instance, that company is not even assured, the doctor is not insured.
that is then another story. Yeah, that's another story there.
All right, so, Saad, we have to take another break. You're watching Strictly Legal. We'll be right back.
Everyone has a dream, a vision of what we want. The things that make us happy and help us make others happy. Let First Citizens help you paint a brighter future. A new home. A new car. A new day of living stress-free. Make the things you picture a reality.
Visit us at firstcitizenstt.com or email loans@firstcitizenstt.com. First Citizens, we put you first.
In this this season, we talk more about health, wellness, and everything in between. I am so excited to share with you everything about health and wellness so that you can design the life that you've always dreamed of. Join me here on What's Up Doc.
What's Up Doc Season 2 premieres Tuesday, September 7th at 11:30 a.m. only on WESN, Content Capital.
It may seem like the hardest thing to do right now, but we all need each other to wear a mask, wash our hands, watch our physical distance, and stay at home. We need you safe. Together we can make the difference. Together we can curb the spread of COVID-19. So let's be responsible in our actions. The Trinidad and Tobago Red Cross Society. Mission-based, people-focused, community-driven.
And we are back. The importance of personal financial planning with my guest, Saad Anthony Baksh. Now, let's speak about critical illness. What is critical illness?
Good. Now, in years gone by, life insurance was really known as death insurance. Only when you die, then your family would benefit from the sum insured. And, coming down to the later years, then they introduced living benefits onto our life insurance policy, and that being critical illness coverage, which is where you are paid as the person alive if you are diagnosed with a critical illness. And a critical illness meaning cancer, heart attack, stroke, kidney failure, paralysis, major burns, coma, and the list goes on.
Is it that is also including in your life insurance package? Because at least with my insurance, I know that is an element that that has to be included.
Right. So depending on the company, it could either be included or not included. It could be done separately or together with your life insurance program.
Critical illness, how important is critical illness our benefit?
I would tell you it is really important. I was going to say it's critically important, right?
Indeed.
But you see, even yesterday was a really a solemn day. Two individuals who I know personally, under the age of 40, died. One from leukemia and the other from a brain tumor.
My condolences.
And the thing is, they were covered, but was it enough? I don't know. And to really take care of a critical illness and to put things in, like for instance, cancer into remission, it might cost you $1.5 million and up. So people need to really look at what they're being covered in terms of the critical illness and sum assured. $200,000 really can't do much.
Yeah, because the sum assured is really small.
And I'm certain you know of individuals who would have been afflicted with a critical illness and then they ended up having to do a barbecue and a curricue or depend on charity. But we have the tools to really mitigate against that risk of becoming critically ill. Some companies, for instance, like Maritime, we go to age 100. There are some companies as well who have 22 critical illnesses covered and all of those things. So it really is important that the individual takes the responsibility to meet with a financial advisor.
Yes, and let's broaden the scope in terms of general insurance.
Good.
Tell us what is general insurance basically?
Good. So general insurance basically deals with your vehicle, your home, your stock in your business, your workman's compensation, public liabilities, a broad scope that is termed general insurance. But for instance, vehicle insurance, it's really to indemnify the client against any loss. And that really means to put you back into the position you were in before, let's say, an accident. So it's not to put you in a better position, it's to put you back in the same position.
The same position regardless of whether, and this is a true situation, regardless of whether someone scratch your bumper or not.
Yeah. And then those things are really, you have companies now that will apply an excess. So let's say the scratch is only $500, but your excess is $5,000.
Yes.
You now will have to stand that responsibility for that initial amount.
And I really don't think people understand that term excess,
Right.
because I think it's too much of a small print, a fine print with insurance companies.
Right, so it's excess or what you could even term as a deductible. So the first part of your claim, which sometimes the companies use a percentage of the value of the vehicle.
So if you have a Range Rover, like yourself.
It's a high excess. But then there are some companies as well that have a waiver of excess. so that you could also get that benefit as well, where the excess could be waived and you pay a little extra on your premium for that.
And let's speak about the workmen compensation, because that is relevant to businesses like myself, etc.
Right.
I mean, I know in law what is workmen compensation, but in terms of an insurance aspect.
Right. So workmen's compensation is basically the employer or the company will have this form of coverage in the event an employee should pass away or get damaged on the job. And really you are insuring the person's wages. And there are certain factors and underwriting that will come in to give you a premium based on the occupation, based on the risk that is involved. Because you may have somebody working on a 10-story building. Now that individual is a different risk than somebody who is working in an office.
Indeed,
Yeah.
indeed. But of course, you can't deny that the risk is risk.
Correct. And you pay a premium based on the risk.
And then particularly under the health and safety laws and under OSH Act as well.
Correct.
That is important.
And in some cases mandatory.
Yeah.
And in most companies who are applying for government tenders and all of those things, they need to have the workman's comp and also public liability.
Yes, that's what I was now going to say. In terms
Yeah.
of public liability, just explain why that insurance is needed.
Right.
Or what is the criteria for public liability
Well, again,
insurance?
the public liability aspect of it is like, for instance, simply, if somebody should walk in here and they slip and fall, they may sue the owners of this building or the owners of the channel. But if the company, if that person has public liability coverage, now the insurance company will now compensate that individual. Now, and it works in many other areas. That is a simple example for you.
Now, can you stress on the need for retaining a financial advisor and that insurance agents or financial advisors, I think you all have a
Good.
It is important rather than being a menace.
Right.
To society.
Good. I agree with you. And through our national body, which is TIFA, the Trinidad and Tobago Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors, which all of our financial advisors belong to, right? We are trained, we are continuously trained and developed, and that is where the profession and the professionalism would now be realized by the clients. And gone are the days where you will find an insurance agent, calling down your phone and all of those things. We have now transformed into a profession.
Right, as mute.
And we are professionals, yeah, in our own right.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And before we leave, tell us about your experience as I think it was the youngest qualifier of the $1 Million Round Table,
Well,
Mr. Baksh.
I was in fact the youngest person to be a divisional vice president for the $1 Million Round Table for the Caribbean. Which means that I would, similar to like the UN, let's say, I often call MDRT the UN of financial advisors. I was responsible for half of the world, overseeing their MDRT operations, promoting $1 Million Round Table, doing our charitable work, and really helping financial advisors become better financial advisors. And that is what the MDRT responsibility is really to learn, to grow, and to help financial advisors become more professional.
And you have traveled many countries doing this.
Yes.
Tell us where have you traveled? Seychelles and
I have been to Malaysia, I have been to Dubai, I have been to India, I have been a lot of places in North America, South America, and all of those.
So this is
nice
about
things.
taking our monies to
No, at all.
I'm just joking.
Yeah.
So tell us where can we find you? I mean, I know you run a big unit and you're always in the papers, the dailies, and social media, etc.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not promoting your organization, just say, but just yeah.
True. I appreciate the opportunity. So my email address is sbaksh, SBAKSH at maritimefinancial.com.
Yes, put that up on the screen. SBaksh, yeah.
Yeah, at maritimefinancial.com. I'm also on Instagram, on Facebook. And also my cell phone number is public, so it's 759-1489. 759-1489.
And guys, Saad Baksh, any closing?
I just want to thank you, Mr. Donawa, for giving me the opportunity to be on your program. I really think that personal financial planning is critical to every single person in Trinidad, no matter your status. You need to plan, and you need to have a professional advisor working with you.
Particularly now in these uncertain times.
Particularly now.
So Mr. Baksh, Saad Anthony Baksh, old Naps boy, thank you so much for joining this Strictly Legal set.
Thank you.
I'm most appreciative, and I'm sure persons listening online on the World Wide Web everywhere are appreciative as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Donawa, and thank you for WESN for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys, it's a wrap. You have been watching The Need for personal financial planning on WESN Content Capital Strictly Legal. I am Rondell Donawa saying peace out, God bless, see you next time. Goodbye.